Hello, engineering students. In this lesson, you're going to learn about isometric pictorials and begin sketching isometric parts. Isometric means equal measure. So here we have an image of a cube. The three adjacent faces on the cube will share a single point. So what does adjacent mean? So this is the top of the cube. It's adjacent to the front and it's adjacent to the side. The edges converge at one point, the point right here, which will appear as 120-degree angles or 30-degree angles from the horizon line. So that's what isometric means. These three edges in red represent the height, width, and depth. Here we have an example of a part where we can see the color coding for the front, top, and right side. This one on the left is the typical orientation that we draw our parts in. Sometimes we'll draw it like this, but it's pretty rare. But this is the top, front, and then left side. So imagine this part's in front of you, and you're looking at it, and you have it angled in this position. The front of the object is what's in red, the top is in blue, the right side of it is yellow. When you're drawing parts or objects, products, whatever you're drawing, and you're drawing in isometric, you have to choose the front view, and typically that means that the front view, you have to choose it based on its most natural position or how it's used. It also shows the best shape and characteristic contours. It almost always has the longest dimension. So let me go back. So the longest dimension, so the bottom here, that's going to be the longest dimension. That's why we chose the front view. It usually has the fewest hidden lines, and you'll learn more about that later on. And it's the most stable and natural position. So the view of the side that provides the most information about the object is generally chosen as the front view. Finding the best front view of a part can be difficult. Two or more sides may look like the best solution for a front view. When selecting a front view, compare all side views and choose a front view based on the list of criteria in this list. So let's do a little exercise. Which side of this object represents the best front view? If you pointed at this surface here, you're correct. So the view that is chosen as a front view should be drawn facing to the left front as an isometric view, as shown in this example. So it has the best shape description, there's no hidden edges, and it has the longest dimension. When you're sketching an isometric, you can use a method called the box method. This is a method where you maintain proportionality by drawing a large box where your part can fit inside of. Also keep in mind proportion and estimation. Good sketching requires a sense of proportion and ability to estimate size, distance, angles, and other spatial relationships. So here we have this part. This is an isometric view. This part is off, is very off. So the lines are not lining up to the angles as defined by what isometric view means. So it looks a little wonky. You can tell it's out of proportion and it just doesn't look right. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to create some sketches, and you're going to follow along and try to create the same sketches. So for our first sketch, you're going to need a sheet of isometric paper. You can grab that from the front. There's a little black bin with 3 drawers. One should be labeled isometric. On the isometric graph paper, you'll notice that it has the angled lines, the diagonal lines here. And you'll also notice you have quadrants here and these arrows. So like this is the B2 section, this is the B1 section, and then this is the A1 section and the A2 section. So what I want you to do is in this first section here, we're going to draw just a couple really basic shapes. So with your ruler, nice sharp pencil or mechanical pencil, what I would like you to do is find the diagonal lines and line up your ruler with them. So I'm lining up to B here. So you see the B right there? Okay. And then I have a nice diagonal line lined up along the edge of the ruler. This is very important that you are able to do this. And then we're going to pick a point right here where it's intersecting. Okay, I'm going to see if I'll zoom in on that. And then we're going to drag down our pencil 2 triangles. So 1, 2 triangles down. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to line up our ruler to the vertical line here. We're going to draw up 2, just like that. Okay, and you probably already can tell we're going to be drawing just a very basic cube. So from this line, or from the edge right there, line it up. Make sure your rulers line up perfectly with the grid lines. Just like that. Then line up those two ends of those two lines, and now you have sort of a diamond shape. And then we're going to line up in the opposite diagonal like direction, and then we're going to draw a nice object line that is 2 triangles wide. And then again, we're going to find that point. Going to draw up 2 triangles. Our ruler. I think I need a smaller ruler. There we go. It was hitting the camera. And then we're going to draw diagonal lines upward by 2, and then connect these two like so. So there you have it, a very basic isometric cube. This is a 2 by 2 by 2 unit cube, and you should be able to draw that very easily and with very neat. So this is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see squiggly lines. Okay, like it's really quick to do it like this, right? Sure, yeah, whatever. But this is not neat. This is not professional. This is unacceptable. You need to use a ruler, and you need to have straight, dark object lines that are very visible and easy to see right away. So take a moment, practice drawing another cube, make it the same size. And in the B2 section here, this ruler has like a little imperfection in the plastic, so there's like a little squiggle there. Notice how I'm lining up my ruler to the intersections. So this is again another 2 by 2 by 2 cube. All right, so remember, between here and here, so this line represents the depth. This line right here represents the height. And the width is this line here, width. So just keep that in mind. So width, height, depth. You can even do it like this. This is height. All right, so now let's get a little bit more complicated. In the B1 section, we're going to draw a shape with a little bit more complexity. And we're going to do the box method that I talked about a little bit ago. So for this one, you need to know pressure. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to draw an example line here. So a lot of pressure, you get a really dark, good object line. And then little pressure, you get a good line, but it should be barely visible. So this line right here, that's an object line. And this line right here is a construction line. Construction lines are purposefully very light. They should be very, very, very light, almost invisible. They are just there to guide your drawing, to help you with proportion and make your drawing, to be able to make your drawing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with drawing very light construction lines. So in the B1 section, line up your ruler like so. In this area, I'm going to go down maybe a little bit more. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to draw 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a very small object. See how it's very light? And then we're going to draw, we're going to go up 2. Just like that. Make sure you're drawing very, very lightly. So this is 3 and 2, so down 3, up 2. And then from this point, we're going to go over 2, just like that. And then we're going to go up 2. Basically, it's a rectangle. Okay, so just like that. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to catch up. All right, let me zoom in on this so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Is it focused? Okay, good. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a block type shape out of this. What we're going to do is in this section right here, we're going to draw a little cube, little tiny cube, like so. Okay, take a moment to do that. Okay, and then from the top of the cube, we're going to draw up. So what we did, let me just backtrack a little bit. What we did was we drew a glass box, in quotes, and that glass box, inside of that glass box lives the shape that we're about to make. Okay, so from this corner, line up your ruler with the diagonal line, and then we're going to draw a line going up 1, over 1 from here, 1, and let me get my pen. This will make it easier with the pen so you can see what we're doing. So let me just quickly redraw over these lines. You don't have to do this in pen. It's probably better for you to do it in pencil first, and then if you have the pen, you can outline it in pen once you confirm that it's correct. So let me just do this real quick. Okay, so you see that first little cube right there? Okay, that's what we want. And then we have this line here. We have this line here. See how the glass box kind of disappears when you have nice dark object lines? That's what glass does. Glass is supposed to be invisible. Smudge right here, that's not okay, but I'm gonna hide it a little bit with the darker line. And then right here, this is gonna go only one triangle, just like that. And then from here, we're gonna go up one, line up your ruler. And then from here, we're gonna connect those two ends. Then we're gonna draw a little line here. Then we're gonna draw from this point right here, we're gonna draw over two. Then connect that like that. Draw a vertical line here. Another diagonal line here. And then close up the whole shape there. So there's our object. And what we can do then is erase the glass box. And to really make this pop, we're going to add a light source. So our light source is going to be in the top right here. And so we're going to just draw like a little circle, and it's the sun. Okay, so the light rays are glowing in that direction. And what we can do on the front face is put some hatch lines because there's no light touching that surface. And there we have our perfectly drawn isometric object. We're going to do one more example for this lesson slash assignment, and then I'm going to cut you loose on some isometric drawing practice. So what do we need to do for this one? We're going to, just in the middle section right here, we'll line up diagonally. And again, we're going to use construction lines, so a nice light line. And we're going to draw a line that is 6 triangles long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. And then from this edge here, we're going to draw a horizontal line up 3 triangles. From this corner, let me fix the orientation a little bit here so it's easier to understand. From right here, we're going to draw another vertical line up 3 triangles. So 1, 2, 3. Then connect those 2 lines. Okay, so from this point here, we're going to go over 2. From this point, we're going to go up 2. 3, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. And then connect these 2 points. From this point, we're going to draw a line over 2. Okay, and then again, make sure you're lining up your ruler with those grid lines. Makes it so much easier and so much neater and much more professional. Now, the shape that we're drawing here, it actually has an angled surface to it. So let me see, do I have an example? No, so let's just draw it. All right, so now we're going to make the bottom line right here an object line, so a nice dark line. Okay, we're going to go from this point, we're going to go up 1. From this point, we're going to go over 2, make those dark. From this point, we're going to go up 1. And then we're going to connect these 2 lines here, those 2 points. All right, and then we're going to find the back section here. We're going to draw a nice object line. And then point over those 2, so 1, 2, make a nice object line here. And then from this point, line up your ruler. We're going to go over 3 triangles. So 1, 2, 3. Nice dark object lines. And then do the same exact thing on this point. 1, 2, 3. And then connect those 2 points. Now this has an angled surface to it. So always save your angled surfaces for the end or near the end, and you're going to connect corners. So here's a corner and here's a corner. So this corner, line up the ruler to both corners just like that. And then draw a construction line. Does it look nice? Cool. Line it up again. Draw a nice dark object line. And then do the same on the other side. Beautiful. Very good isometric sketch. Pick a light source. Okay, your light source is almost always going to be in the top right. And then on the front face, shade it with some hatch lines. And you're done. So this is your intro. So isometric intro lesson. Okay, so turn this document in and you'll get credit. Make sure that you follow the directions exactly as shown in the video. Make sure you have no smudges. If you want to use a black pen, you make sure that you are doing it correctly, properly with a ruler. Try to avoid smudges. I had a little smudge here. So definitely be careful when you're using a marker or a pen. And then, of course, know the difference between object lines and construction lines. And I'm going to be looking for that. So I'm going to be looking for these notes here, the width, height, depth notes. I'm going to be looking for this object and this object. And then, of course, the title, the date, your name. Okay, good luck. And move on. Once you're done with this, move on to the next isometric drawing lesson.